Yo, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to Small Talk Sports episode 7. This is probably your first time seeing me, so hello. It's nice to finally see you. Good to meet you. And we're back in North Hollywood. If you couldn't tell from the background, it's been a little gloomy. It's very rainy around here nowadays. We just had a power outage for the last 2 days. More on that later. But I was just working in Utah. I was in Salt Lake City for the All-Star game, as some of you may know. And it was a phenomenal experience. I was a production assistant, so I was just doing a lot of the behind-the-scenes work. I'm getting Cheesecake Factory for the producers. I'm running errands. I'm setting things up. A lot of boring stuff. But there were a lot of cool moments. I got to walk past probably any and every NBA player who was on the court for all the different events. I'm talking the slam dunk contest, the three-point contest, the titular All-Star game on that Sunday night. I know I talked about some of the other ones last week, but I'll let you know how that Sunday was, that All-Star Sunday. And it was crazy. It was really incredible. LeBron walked right by me. Michael B. Jordan, oh my God, I almost fainted when I saw him. He was in this really nice cardigan. You may have seen it on Instagram. Vin Diesel was within spitting distance from me. I saw Charles Barkley. That was probably one of the craziest interactions of the weekend. I said, "Hey, Chuck, have a nice night." And I didn't notice this at the time, but he left his little hand out to fist bump me. But I didn't see it. I was in that moment. I was like, wow, Charles Barkley. And then about a second and a half later, I see he's walking away, but with his little arm extended. So I had to jump back out, give him the punch, a nice dap. Luckily, he left it there for me. If I had missed out on that opportunity, if a passerby said, "Hey man, what do you have against Chuck? Why didn't you fist bump the man?" I would have been eternally disappointed because of that. But luckily I'm not. I'm eternally grateful that it happened. And that was about it from the All-Star game. It was such a cool experience being in Utah. I know you guys want to hear all about that game a few days ago with tons of offense and seemingly no defense. No, not the All-Star game. I'm talking about the Sacramento Kings versus the LA Clippers. Let's get right into it. So the Sacramento Kings beat the LA Clippers 176 to 175. These 351 combined points were the second most ever in an NBA game. Incredible to see. I saw this comment on YouTube that said, imagine scoring 175 points and losing. And I'm happy that the Clippers were the one to see how that feels. I know I wouldn't want to be on the losing end of 351 total points in a game. But let's talk about the actual players who were there. Malik Monk, I love him. Former Laker. I get so upset every morning. I wake up and he's the first thing on my mind that we somehow let him go. But he had 45 points total, a super clutch three with 1.1 seconds left in regulation. And in regulation, it was 153 to 153 for just the 4 quarters, nothing extra. Crazy stuff there, but it was the Malik Monk show. All right, he had that clutch three at the end of regulation. He had another huge three. Now, they were down 4 points with 1:22 left in the second overtime. I think about 29 other teams in that position would probably just give up. All the points have been scored. It's been a long night. You want to get home to your families. But the Sacramento Kings did not give up, and neither did Malik Monk. He hit that other three down 4 and light that beam up. Good for Sacramento. I'm really happy for them. They might do some damage here in the playoffs, but we will get to that in another episode. Russell Westbrook, I'm not mentioning his name a bunch. He's a brand new LA Clipper. He fouled out in this game. I do want to note Russell Westbrook, he is an MVP of this league. He is a 9-time All-Star. He is a 2-time scoring champ. He has 4 seasons where he averaged a triple-double, 3 of which were consecutive, back to back to back. These are ridiculous numbers. Nobody's ever going to put up the stats like Russell Westbrook has, probably ever again in the NBA. Oscar Robertson was the last person to average a triple-double. He only did it for 1 season. So the fact that Westbrook is doing this night in, night out, to a point where that's his average, again, first ballot Hall of Famer, phenomenal. I'm just saying, as a Laker fan, when he was a Laker, a little lackluster, to say the least. I personally agree with letting him go at the trade deadline. I also agree with Patrick Beverley, moving on from him. Similar stuff there. He's a legend. He's a bulldog on the court, but he just wasn't doing it for the Lakers. Patrick Beverley ended up on the Chicago Bulls. He made it a point, he said in his podcast, he made it a point to knock the Lakers out of playoff contention here in his new city. And with about 20-ish games to go, depending on when you're listening to this, the Lakers need every last game they can get. I love the Lakers' chances of making the playoffs. Okay, we're undefeated with Mo Bamba. How many teams could say that? You remember him from the rap song? Mo Bamba is a Laker, and he has yet to lose in the purple and gold. Sunday night, we had an extremely exciting comeback against the Dallas Mavericks. The Lakers were down 27 points to Mr. Luka and Kyrie, and the Lakers did not give up. Anthony Davis had 30 points. He had 15 rebounds and some key fourth quarter buckets. You know, Austin Reeves looked like he was about to take off the head of Josh Green. I thought he was going to obliterate him on the court. He got right up this close to him. It was really cool to see that side of Austin Reeves. Something we've never seen before, but it seems like whenever he's in Dallas, this edge comes out. This superstar is born. You know, last year in December, he had that game-winning shot against the Mavericks in overtime. Something about Dallas, man. Something about the state of Texas for Mr. AR. But look, we have super exciting stuff for the Lakers. It's going to be down to the wire. As you know, the West is wide open. The Lakers are currently a 12 seed. We're about a game back from being in the play-in. We are 2.5 games back from having a proper playoff spot. LeBron is averaging about 30 points. AD averages 26 points in about the 37 games that he's played. And things are looking good for the Lakers. Unfortunately, LeBron hurt a pop in his ankle last night. He was seen limping through the locker room to his car after the game. As of Monday morning, we have no updates on that. I hope everything's okay. I would certainly hate if LeBron was out for the season. He's going to be a key piece for these Lakers. But the surrounding cast that they've connected LeBron and AD to, you got Jared Vanderbilt was an insane pickup. Malik Beasley has surely been hooping. And my personal favorite, D'Angelo Russell, is a future former Laker. As we know, he used to be on the team. Took some time off after the whole Nick Young scandal. We shipped him off to Brooklyn. He's been in Minnesota, Golden State for a little bit, and now he's back home as a Laker. And it really seems like everything's coming into place at the perfect time for this playoff push. But look, every week is a battle for the Lakers. And there was a pretty big battle last night. And obviously, you know I'm talking about the Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul boxing match. Tommy Fury and Jake Paul finally battled after 2 years of delays with visa issues, with injuries, with rib infections. But finally, we got to see this fight. I didn't watch it on pay-per-view because I'm not going to pay for that. Tommy Fury, the former reality star, beat the former YouTuber and former undefeated boxer Jake Paul in a split decision. Tommy Fury threw and landed more punches than Jake Paul. I'm not a huge boxing fan. Here's the breakdown. But I think that's why he won by this split decision. Again, not too keen on boxing, but if you're throwing and landing more punches, you know, I guess that'll give you the gold. Something that surprised me about this fight is that Jake Paul took it very well. In a shock to all of us, he said, "Don't judge me by my wins. Judge me by my losses." And every middle school boy who wears Axe is going to caption that on Instagram for the next 6 months. Just watch. He then added a very arrogant, "I've already won at life," which we were expecting. But then he changes courses and he cites that he has his amazing friends and family around him and how humbling this loss is. "I'll take it on the chin and come back." Wow. Honestly, this is huge from Jake Paul. If you asked me this in 2017, 2018, I would not think that this is the same person. So really a lot of growth there for Jake. I didn't think I'd ever be defending Jake Paul in the year 2023, but here we are. That was surely not on my bingo card. Am I right? Something that is always on my bingo card is the beef of the week. This week's beef of the week is Charles Barkley, we talked about him earlier, versus Commissioner Adam Silver. Now, Charles Barkley says that load management is getting out of hand in the NBA, and Adam Silver is to blame for it. All right, he says that these guys, these NBA players, they're making $30, $40, $50 million a year to play once a week, to have off nights, to take some time off, and that's fair criticism. He also stated how the CBA gets closer, the collective bargaining agreement gets closer to a new deal between the owners and players. They're only going to be making more money to be having these off days, to be taking rest between back-to-back nights. Steve Kerr, the coach of the Warriors, he says to make the seasons shorter. You know, it's currently 82 games in an NBA season. But I say, make the seasons longer. What do I mean by that? Keep the 82 games, okay? Don't actually add more games, but just make the season longer. How many football games are there a week? Your favorite team is only playing every Sunday. Maybe a Thursday night game too, but we hate Thursday night football here at Small Talk Sports. I think keep your 82 games for the NBA. Maybe start 2 weeks earlier. Maybe have the playoffs end a week or two later. Get rid of these back-to-back games. Nobody likes them. If players are currently targeting back-to-backs to have their rest days, to have their load management days, get rid of it. If you always have that extra day in between to rest and recover and, well, manage your load, then I think the NBA will finally solve this problem. Just make the seasons longer. Also, more basketball deep into July? That sounds amazing. I'll be switching from the Dodgers to the Lakers, hopefully in the finals. Look, we all know the feeling when you turn on a game, and it could be a pretty good matchup. It's two powerhouses. There could be some playoff implications. And then you see that the best player is out. Look, I don't like it. You don't like it. Maybe you bought tickets to a game deep in advance for a birthday or a celebration just to find out, oh, Woj bomb right before LeBron's not playing. But look, what do I know? I'm not an NBA player. Charles Barkley's the only one who has gone through that experience. I don't know what it's like. Adam Silver doesn't know what it's like. I know the NBA is not what it is without its players. The NBA is not what it is without these guys making the magical moments, the dunks, the three-pointers, the hustle. You know, we love the grit and grind. We don't get any of that without the players. But also, the NBA would not be what it is without fans. Imagine all of this, but in empty stadiums. We got a taste of it in the bubble. We got a taste of what the NBA would be without fans in the bubble. It wasn't the same. So this really is a two-way street. Yeah, maybe players shouldn't be resting as much. Maybe they shouldn't be taking as many days off. But also, who are we to over-criticize these players? Charles Barkley, Adam Silver, I hope you two figure it out. I don't like seeing you guys fight, but there you have it for our Beef of the Week. Well, thank you so much, everyone. If it wasn't clear in the beginning, this is the first filmed episode of the podcast. To our audio-only listeners, please check it out on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, hey, nice to meet you. We have some audio-only episodes on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. A couple shout-outs. Damian Lillard last night, that's a big dog right there. He dropped 71 points. You know, obviously we had that power outage. I was sitting in an Amazon Fresh grocery store, you know, using their Wi-Fi, using their chargers, and just watching greatness. And in such a dark moment, it made it a lot better. And hey, maybe in reality, maybe like an hour passed by. After he scored that 71st point, the power magically came back on in our apartment. I think maybe the two are related. There might be some correlation there. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching for the first time. To my friends, my family, my supporters, you all mean the world to me. What a ride. This is amazing so far. And we're on camera now. All right. If there was some construction noise in the back, there's a fallen tree in our neighborhood. So there's a lot of that stuff going on. We will try and fix it in post as we always do. Thank you, everybody. Small Talk Sports.